right, how you doing today, guys? Welcome back to another day of 7th grade math. Today we're gonna be talking about probability. But before we start, if you haven't, please go ahead and subscribe if you want to support this channel. Link down in the description. And let's go ahead and keep talking about probability. Now, probability is something that is gonna be used many times. You see it a lot in gambling and things like that, and something whenever you do random games or many things like that. So for example, over here we have picturing a thermometer. We can help you rate probability, okay? So if we look at this thermometer right here, we have probability rating. So at the right, there are 8 letters tiles that spell American, okay? AMERICAN, okay? If something will always happen, it is a probability that is certain. So if you think that whenever you do something and you expect it to happen all the time, it's gonna be certain, it's gonna be 100%. So over here we can also call this percentages. So certain is going to be 100%, and this is gonna make sense in a little bit. So this is 100%. As likely as not, this is 50%. Impossible, that is 0%. Unlikely is gonna be somewhere in between 0 and 50, and likely is gonna be somewhere between 50 and 100%. So you can also have this whole numbers. Impossible is gonna be 0, certain is 1, and this is half. So likely is gonna be in between half and 1, and unlikely is gonna be between half and 0. It's gonna make sense in a little bit. Now, we're gonna be doing probability, and we're gonna be doing with something that we have already done before. We're gonna use fractions. We're gonna use part over total. That's all there is, okay? So, it says, if something will always happen is certain. Okay, for example, if in this case, if you draw one of this, one of those tiles, the letter that is gonna be in the word is gonna be coming from the word American. How likely is that to happen? If you pull one tile from those 8 tiles, if you pull out the letter, what is the probability that one of those letters are actually in the word American? So the probability to get any of these words is always going to happen regardless of what you pick, because the only letters that you have are the ones associated with American. You don't have any other letters on the alphabet except for those 8, well actually 7 letters, because the A repeats itself, right? So if something will never happen, the probability is impossible. So for example, the probability of getting the letter Q out of these letters was never gonna happen, because you don't have the letter Q in the word American. Now, this is where it comes interesting. Now, this is where it comes interesting. Now, for getting the letter Q, that was impossible. So the chances of it is 0% or 0. It will never happen. Now, the probability of picking a vowel is as likely as not, because there are 4 vowels and 4 consonants. Because there are 4 vowels and 4 consonants. So, for example, to pick in a vowel, now this is where you're gonna come in with the part over total thing. There are 4 vowels. You have A, E, A, and I. Is 4 out of a total of 8 letters. So that's why they have 4 over 8. When you simplify that, you get 1/2. So the probability is going to be as likely as not, or 50%, or half. So you can say, well, I'm going to pick up a letter, and most likely it's going to be one of those. Half of the chances is going to be a vowel. So 1 out of every 2 cards is going to be a vowel. Now let's look at the letter C. What do you think the probability for picking a letter C is going to be? Well, let's see. The picking the letter C is unlikely. It's not saying that it's never going to happen. It's just saying that it's unlikely, because there's only one C. one C, and that C is going to be right here. There's only one C out of how many total letters? There's a total of 8 letters. So the fraction for this part over total, the probability for picking a letter C is only one C out of 8 letters, which is 1/8. It's not zero. It's not saying that it's never going to happen, but it's saying that it's less probable that it will happen. Okay? Now, picking a letter besides A is likely because there are 6 letters that are not A. So now let's look at this. Green. Let's do green. Picking a letter besides A. So I have this one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 out of the 8 letters are not A. So we have 6 out of 8, which is 3/4, which is going to be right there, likely. And you got to see over here, look at how they do the parentheses. B, not A. Not A. So that's telling you, do not look for the A's, look for everything else. And it's always going to be part over total. So now we have a few examples right here. Tell whether each outcome is impossible, unlikely, as likely as not, likely, certain, then write the probability in the simplest form. The simplest form is going to be the reduced fraction, the lowest fraction that you can get it, the simplified fraction. For example, if you get 4/8, you reduce that to 1/2. Okay, that's an example of a reduced or the simplest form. Now, the first sample is going to be choosing a red crayon from a box of 24 colored crayons, including a red crayon. So, first of all, we're going to find the part and the total. Okay? The total is going to be a box with 24 colored crayons. So my total is going to be 24. Now, what they're asking for is picking a red one. We're going to look for a red one, and we only have one red one on the box. So that's going to be the part 1. 1 out of 24. So the probability is 1/24. That's the simplest form because I cannot simplify that anymore. So out of looking at this, is it impossible? Is it 0? Is this one 0? If you think it's 0, please leave them down in the comments below. In this case, it's not 0 because it's more than 0. Is it 100% of the time? Is it 24 over 24? No. So this one is actually going to be less than half, so it's going to be somewhere right there. So the probability for this one is going to be unlikely. Or less than half. Something like that. Or less than 50%. Now, number 2. Rolling an odd number on a number cube containing numbers 1 through 6. Now, every time they say the word number cube, because we're going to hear that a lot, they're talking about a dice. They're talking about a dice. So if you know dice, they have 6 sides and they have 6 different numbers, 1 through 6, right? So they have, and this is what I like to do. You can just draw the faces, and then you have 6 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to draw it, you can go ahead and do that. Now, what they're asking for, the probability is for an odd number. P, odd number. Okay, so what is going to be the probability of picking an odd number? Again, part over total. The total is going to be 6 because I have 6 numbers right there. And I'm looking for the odd ones. How many are the odd ones? Well, I have 1, I have 3, and I have 5. How many odd ones do I have? Well, in this case, I got 3 odd ones. Now, look at the fraction, 3/6. Is that going to be the simplest form, or can you simplify that? What can you simplify 3, 6 to? Please pause the video and write it down in the comments below. All right, so if we simplify this, we can divide both of them by 3. So my simplest form is going to be 1/2. And if I look at this chart right here, I have 1/2 right here, as likely as not. So it may happen, but it might not happen. The probability is the same. So half, 50%. So for this one, it'll be as likely as not. And the last one, it says, randomly picking a white card from a bag containing all red cards. So you have a bag with a lot of red cards. It doesn't say how many, but you have a bag with a lot of red cards. They're asking, what is the probability for picking a white card? Let's write this probability, P, white. Is there any white cards in there? Is there any white cards in there? No, right? There's no white cards at all. So my probability of picking a white card is going to be 0. It doesn't say how many cards are there total, so we don't care because there, it says that all are red. All of them are red. So the probability is 0 or impossible. And that's how you do use regular probability. Later on, we're going to be learning about compound probability, which is going to be comparing 2 different things. So let's say if you pull 2 things out of a bag, what is the probability of doing compound, more than one thing? We're also going to learn about theoretical and experimental probability. As of right now, this is just the introduction to probability. I hope that you really learned something today. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to comment, share, and please go ahead and subscribe. If you want to support this channel, the link's down in the description. Don't forget to check out my other channel, MTV Alex. That's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.